I recently saw this of recent and I'm like, wow, is this a rule in Spain? And what is that?
Travel wonder, wonder, 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 travel wonder, wonder.
Nomads.
Hola amigos! Spain is one of the most beautiful and cultural rich countries in the world. But like any other place, there are certain customs, traditions that tourists sometimes overlook. Today, we are diving into the top 10 unspoken rules that tourists keep breaking in Spain. Like, these things keep reoccurring, the fines are constantly being issued to this category of tourists, and I decided to make a video in order for anyone moving to Spain as a tourist or as a visitor to know and to be well informed beforehand. So stick around to make sure you are not making any of this mistake in your next visit. First up, we are going to be talking about greetings. Yes, it's necessary to know that the way Spainers greet is not like any other countries. Like, it literally took me time to know and to accept it, and most times tourists may not have this welcoming feeling because it's like invasion of a personal space. Different cultures, different interpretation of this gesture. So Spainers have this common way to greet people with a kiss on each cheek, even if you're meeting them for the first time. Now, this might seem too forward to some people, but it's a sign of warmth and friendliness. So skipping this can come off as cold or friendly. So when in a situation whereby you meet the Spaniard, so don't be afraid to lean in for that double cheek kiss, okay? And the second rule that most tourists often break in Spain is going topless. Topless when you're coming from the beach, or topless because of the heat and all that. Spain is one place where modesty, dressing appropriately in good situations demand. Of course, I've seen a couple of them dressing in a way that that seems free, but they make sure to cover sensitive part of their body. So going topless on the streets might might attract some fine to you as a tourist. So be mindful of that. Be mindful that you ought to be well clothed coming from the beach. Of course, while in the beach, you can have your tops off if you want, but while in the residential areas, or maybe you want to go and shop for something in the shop, do not go in topless, as this might attract some fines to you. And number 3 is that we are going to be talking about the siesta times. Like, tourists most tourists do not know about the siesta time. Like, they literally feel it's just a time where the Spaniards go to sleep and come back after a while. Actually, from 2 to 5 p.m., many shops and businesses close midday, like literally closed. There's nobody to attend to you, and even if you need that thing urgently, they will not. So it will be breaking a rule to go and look for somebody or try to persuade somebody to sell something for you, maybe at the verge of seeing them closing during this siesta time. So it's literally a sacred time in Spain for rest and having their lunch. So tourists often get frustrated when they find stores in the afternoon closed. But for you watching this video, your case will be different, because you will understand better that the custom helps you to relax. Spain custom is all about relaxation. It's all about having a balance between your work and your life. So plan your day around it, and don't break the rule of buying, shopping when the seller decides to close, okay? And the next unspoken rule is the tipping culture. Tipping in Spain is quite different from what you may know or maybe used to. While it's being appreciated, it's not being expected in the same way as in the US. Usually people tip off the bill or leave a small amount like 5 or 10%. So leaving a large tip might come off as unusual or even excessive. So keep it simple and don't stress too much about tipping. Nobody's gonna put rope on your neck because you did not tip. If you're okay with the meal, you can say a simple thank you to the waiter or to whoever made the food, the chef, and they will be well appreciated. But if you're persuaded to give a tip, fine and good. It's all to you. The next one is the eating schedule. In Spain, meal times are much later than in many countries. Like sometimes I can literally be in my house and I hear the clashing upstairs in my neighbor's apartment. Like I'm like, do these people cook at night? So Spainers are known to have later dinners. Actually, the reason is not yet best known to me, but I might do a video on that to explain why they actually do this. Maybe asking a Spaniard or probably talking to a few of them. So lunch is about 2 to 4 p.m. and dinner doesn't start until after 9 p.m. or even later. Okay, so tourists, if you're a tourist, it's always common to get frustrated when you can't find restaurants open at 6 p.m. So remember, eating late is a part of Spanish lifestyle. Embrace it and try to adjust your schedule to enjoy the Spanish dining experience. The next one is the dress code in churches. Of course, where you're coming from in other countries, you can dress the way you want to churches. But in a cathedral in Spain, you ought to dress appropriately when going to churches, cathedrals, like the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, Seville Cathedral. Remember, these are places of worship, and there's actually an unspoken dress code. So tourists often forget to cover their shoulders or wear appropriate clothing. You know, these things are common, and sometimes you might feel embarrassed being turned back because of your dressing. So in order to avoid breaking this rule, get a scarf. You can get a little scarf or jackets to cover your shoulders, your thighs, or cover up appropriately. Not so much, but at least to respect the building that you are in, because it's a sacred space and it's a sign of respect. So the next one that I want to really talk about is the siesta time. Of course, I made mention of it before, but one thing you should know is that during this time, Spainers want a quiet environment. So it will be absurd for you as a tourist to begin to generate noise, begin to, shout or play loud music during this time of the day. And sometimes residential places are usually so quiet. So if you're living in this environment, if living in residential places, please be considerate. Avoid playing loud music, speaking loud, rolling your bags too loud, generating noise that may seem uncomfortable to others. So respect the personal space of others. And the next one, the unspoken rule. Yes, you want to enjoy the beach. I recently saw this and I'm like, wow. Is this a rule in Spain? Like, I was so surprised. And what is that? Putting your umbrella on the beach, like before the normal time where the beach opens, because what region of Spain was that? Some regions of Spain have this rule that you don't book a space on the beach. Of course, you want to have the best spot on the beach. You want to go in a time whereby you want to put your umbrella ahead to have a good space, but that is an offense in Spain. Yes, that is an offense in Spain. You don't put an umbrella ahead of the opening hours of when the beach is meant to be open to the general public. I literally saw some clips of videos or pictures of people, police carrying all these umbrellas and finding the owners of these umbrellas €750 per person. And I'm like, wow, so this is actually an unspoken rule in Spain. Well, that's just so you know. Keep in mind so you don't fall a victim, okay? Next is the language expectations. Why many Spainers do not speak English? Or should I say they speak English? Most of them speak English, especially in tourist area. Don't expect everyone to understand English. It's always appreciated when tourists try to speak a little Spanish. So even if it's just the basic phrases like hola, gracias, small efforts, just try to learn Spanish phrases. Don't assume that anyone you talk to can speak English, because it might seem offensive. Some may not even answer you. Like when I came to Spain, I didn't know this. Nobody told me about it. And as such, I will go to people and start speaking English to them, trying to ask them. Obviously, in there were situations whereby I was lost. So I needed directions. The next point is the public transport etiquette. Like, there is an unspoken rule in the public transport system. There was a time I entered a bus and I saw these people. Obviously, they are tourists. They came to Spain to explore. And there was this old person. They were sitting on a seat that is meant for old people. Because public transport in Spain is generally punctual and efficient. But there is this unspoken rule about giving your seats to the elderly, the pregnant women, to those with disability, and do not sit on their seats. Do not sit on the seat meant for them. So there was this old man that came. He was standing. He was literally. If you see this man, I think it was a man or a woman, but the person looked really, really old. And there was this young boy and young girl sitting on the seat that the person was meant to sit. And I was like, oh my gosh, not now again. Like, there was this uncomfortable feeling in the bus. Every eye was glazing at them. Everybody was looking at them, but they didn't care. They literally did not care what the eyes of people were telling them. At that point, I had to stand up and offer my seat to the elderly person. So tourists sometimes overlook all these things, and think it's too much. Or maybe when you're coming from, the old people, the pregnant people are not well reverenced. But in Spain, offering your seats is a small gesture that is deeply appreciated, okay? And it shows respect and kindness to those that need it most. And sometimes it's best to follow the cue, do the right thing at the right time. So the next one we are going to be talking about is the art of ordering tapas. Tapas is a must try when you get to Spain, but there is a bit art, to ordering them. In some regions like Granada, tapas comes free with your drinks, but in others, you need to order them separately. Some tourists expect to get free tapas everywhere, but that is not always the case, okay? So don't feel like you're being cheated. Don't begin to demand for free tapas and what have you. So remember, it is common to share tapas with the whole table. So just order it for yourself and, enjoy yourself, okay? And the next point is respecting the pace of life. Respecting the pace of life in Spain. You know that Spain moves at a different pace of life. It's all about enjoying life, not rushing through it. Whether it's leisure meals, strolling through the street, taking time to chat with friends. Spainers value a tiempo de calidad, quality time. They love to spend and take their time. And sometimes tourists find this slower pace frustrating. Feeling, oh gosh, I once went to a place to do a registration and I was talking to a person of a nationality. I don't want to call the nationality, else some people may find it offensive, but the person just was like, oh, what are these people doing? They're too slow. The system is like this. And he used a word that I wouldn't want to mention in this video. He was so pissed and he mentioned that word. Obviously, it's a cuss word. And I was like, wow, it hasn't gotten to that. So if you're coming to Spain, you have to respect the fact that Spainers take their time. If you want to do anything in the bank, in the office, in the supermarket, you see a queue, do not begin to act impatiently. Simply wait for your turn and enjoy the process. Of course, living in Spain comes with peace of mind. Like, there's this peace of mind that comes with living in Spain. Life is slowly live. You take one day at a time. There's no show off. There is no trying to be better than another person. You just live life at the pace that God gives it to you. So there you have it. These are the 10 unspoken rules that tourists keep breaking in Spain. So whether you are just visiting for the first time, you want to plan that trip to Spain, these little things can make a big difference in your experience. So if you found this video helpful, do not forget to share give it a thumbs up, and subscribe for more travel tips. For now, see you next time. Hasta luego e disfruta de España.